Hi, it's Gabriela. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to fight that feeling of not making any progress in your Spanish learning. With a few examples, I'll show you how having a solid learning system can give you the tools to deal with those intrusive thoughts and help you see just how far you've come and where to go next. Does this ever happen to you? You are in the middle of a conversation in Spanish and suddenly a word you don't know or can't remember pops up. Immediately, that inner voice kicks in. You should know this, or worse, I knew this, why can't I remember it? Trust me, my friend, this is a super common intrusive thought, and I'm going to show you how to fight back. Alright, picture this. You are an athlete, a runner. We often think running is just about lots of sweaty mornings and long, tiring distances. And sure, that's part of it, but not the whole story. Being an athlete involves so many small details that build up your overall running performance. You need a plan to become a runner, a system you can evaluate over time to measure your progress. You'd also have professionals on your side to help adjust that plan according to your needs. A running coach, a sports nutritionist, a conditioning coach, and maybe even a physiotherapist. Once you've got all these aspects covered, you can set goals, track your performance, and measure your progress more objectively. So, now let's think about learning Spanish like training for a marathon. It wouldn't make sense to jump into your first marathon without considering all those key factors. But sometimes we do just that in our learning journey. We try to self-teach, memorize a ridiculous amount of grammar rules, or rely on apps for that quick hit of progress. But there is no real plan, no system. Yet we still set huge goals like, I want to be fluent, or I want to retire in a Spanish-speaking country, or I want to improve my relationships with neighbors or relatives. And then we get frustrated when it doesn't happen as fast as we hoped. Funny, right? Actually, those goals should be more kind of your motivation, not the finish line itself. They're what keep you going. So you're probably wondering, where are you going with this, Gabriela? It's simple. Designing a learning plan gives you the data you need to track your progress over time. Relying on professionals provides an objective perspective based on that data, and together it'll be super helpful when it's time to set goals. Plus, it'll ease those anxious, intrusive thoughts like, am I actually making any progress? Now, let's take a look at how I measure progress in conversation skills. We'll evaluate a before and after session with one of my awesome students. See what kind of progress we can observe, and based on his first interaction, we'll talk about what his goals were and how far he's come. Okay, so let's see it. All right, here we are. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna give you a bit of context about my student. This is one of my fantastic students. When he came to the program, he was unable to hold a conversation in Spanish, let's say. He started saying one or two words, and it wasn't that he got stuck, he just blank and go by default to English. So what we did together was we're gonna start first playing a lot of games to gain some confidence and also to learn how to access this intellectual knowledge that has been there over time, like to clear the fog that we might have in our mind. So that was the first strategy that we decided together. Another thing that we did was turning his motivation. Like his goal was, I want to retire in a Spanish-speaking country. This cannot be the goal. This is the motivation that is going to keep you going every day. Our goal now is keep it consistent. Keep working daily and weekly over time. This is what it's going to give you the opportunity to get results, perceive results, see these results and change over time, right? And the other thing is like he decided to work with me, so that was a yay. And back to the point. What we're gonna see here is his first baby steps into speaking. We did it through games and you're gonna see it with me and we're gonna talk about it. Okay, so let's see how he did it.
Okay. Hay una mujer.
Hay una mujer es muy hermosa.
Hay una mujer. Pelo rojo. Y es muy hermosa. Now we have a girl.
Okay. Una mujer. Oh wait, say it. Start again. What was the first?
Hay una mujer.
Hay una mujer.
Pelo rojo. Y es muy hermosa.
Hay una mujer. Es pelo rojo. Es muy hermosa.
And add something.
Okay. Y muy alto.
Okay, so one thing that he had on his favor was the fact that he is relaxed. At least he doesn't show his fears, and his body language shows that he's relaxed. He's laying with his back, he's keeping the eye contact, which give him a lot of input from my body expression. So he had that on favor. The second thing is that we needed to work a bit in his short memory, because he was going by default to English, or he needed to write down what he heard because he didn't trust his mind, let's say. He trusts more in his written words instead of what he's able to produce, to articulate, and to keep in his mind, right? So we're gonna see a bit of that now.
Y una mujer, pelo rojo, alta, muy hermosa, sin dientes.
Can I jot these down too as you're talking, like
See?
so I can remember?
No, no. Hold on.
All right.
We're gonna work with your short-term memory.
Okay, so as I already mentioned, this was one of the big issues, that he didn't trust his short memory. So he was like, can I write this down? Can I write this down? And the problem with writing down everything is like, then when we read it, we're gonna read it with the English sounds and not with the Spanish sounds. So for developing this muscle memory, we really need to do the back and forth as many times as possible with the words, with the new words. This way we have more chances that this word will stick in our mind eventually. But if we don't say it back, if we don't use it back, if we don't circle back to that word, the chances are less. Okay, so let's see how he did it now.
Okay, it's very good.
Be patient.
Okay. All right. Hay una mujer es pelo rojo, es muy hermosa o es muy alta, es muy hermosa. El dientes,
Sin dientes.
sin dientes,
Sin.
sin dientes,
Sin dientes.
sin dientes.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. Me gusta correr. Me gusta, wait, me gusta, me
Ajá.
gusta. Oh,
Reset. Okay, so this was like his second session. So we were trying to build up a bit his conversation through this game. Now what we're going to watch in the next video is him talking after less than 10 hours of coaching sessions with me, right? So we're gonna see where he is now or where he was at that moment, yeah, after the 10 hours, almost 10-hour conversation coaching sessions, and we're gonna talk together about it. Okay, so let's go there. Okay, so here we are. This is a frame of one of our sessions when he was nearly 8, 9 to 10 hours from the first coaching session that we had together, right? So this is like his 8 or 9 session, let's say. And what we're going to notice here are these tiny aspects that we can't measure over time, right? As we have the first interaction, we can compare with this one and we're gonna notice huge differences. Like now he's able to hold a short, small talk in Spanish, let's say, like a conversation about how are you, how was your day, what is in your mind, a travel that you did, something like super simple. Using also simple speak, like relying in this like fundamentals of not getting into complex sentences in English and finding translations. Instead of that, just trying to use actions and a few complements to get the message across, right? As you have heard me say before in other videos. That's one thing that we can observe here. The other thing is like he keeps his relaxed state of mind and his mood, but now he's even more engaged in the conversation and in the interaction. He's more confident, right? So let's see it together.
buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Estoy de maravilla.
De maravilla.
Notice one thing, as he's not writing down words every time that a new word pops up. He's not trying to copy that word, to memorize that word. What he's doing is trying to do the back and forth. Repeat the word. Try to split that maravilla. Try to make sure that you're able to pronounce that word. And eventually this is going to click in your mind, or the other person will give you the translation for the word, right? But first you make sure that you can say it before writing it down, yeah? Because when we write it down and we want to read it from there, we're gonna read it in English with English sounds instead of Spanish sounds. So this is something that he's doing very good. De maravilla. De maravilla.
Oh, marvelous. Maravilla. Excellent. Excelente. Yo estoy cansada un poco.
¿Cansada o cansado?
Cansado.
Ah, Okay.
Gracias.
The other thing is like as he's paying more attention to the way that we produce the sounds, when I put the emphasis in cansado, cansada, he can notice the difference because now he's more aware of how Spanish is really sounding, how the vowels are produced. He's paying more attention to sounds than the intellectual knowledge that we are holding here. And this is giving him a lot of opportunities in a conversation. So let's keep watching.
Dormir anoche.
Oh no,
Ah.
sí, mal.
No, ocupado.
Pero tu mente, ¿dónde estaba?
Yeah, just.
Pensando.
Pensando.
Well, very good, very good. Well, as you can notice, if you have a system, and a strategy, and your motivation, and a clear goal, it gets easier to measure progress over time. If someone sees this video and says, oh man, that guy, he can barely speak Spanish, that would be super unfair because that person hasn't noticed his progress over time. He's not aware of his challenges and how far he have come, right? So as we have the first interaction, we can say, yeah, of course, it makes sense. This guy was unable to say a single word, and after a few hours and consistent work, he came till this place. So yeah, those are my tips. Let's go back to the other video and we'll continue there. I get it. Designing a long-term plan can feel overwhelming, especially when life gets in the way. And not everyone can afford to have constant professional support. But there are a few key aspects that, if you keep them in mind, can lead to better results. Let me break them down for you. Consistency over intensity. Language learning is made up of different skills that take time to develop. It's much more effective to set realistic amount of time each week or daily to work on your Spanish rather than doing long, intensive sessions on and off. Think of it like building muscle. You don't hit the gym once and walk out with a six-pack, right? Well, at least not me. Muscle memory takes time. When we don't regularly use the muscles that help us pronounce sounds that doesn't exist in our first language, it takes longer to develop that muscle memory. So, process over results is the second key advice that I can give you. This is a super mindful approach. From my perspective, the process itself is the outcome. Sometimes we do activities thinking, when I finish this, my level will be whatever. But in reality, the act of doing the activity is the outcome. The time you spend, let's say, thinking in Spanish or listening or speaking or just engaging in any way with the language, that's the win. Over time, if you have followed a plan, you'll start to see how those hours add up and move you toward your goals. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and please share in the comments what does your learning plan look like. I'd love to hear from you and learn from your experiences. So, till the next time, ciao, ciao.